What's up? Today is a very interesting day for me actually because there are a couple of things that are on my to-do list. For context, this is the first month or the end of the month where I left my previous job to pursue full-time freelancing, and that leaves us, or leaves me, in a couple of different things to do. One thing I want to do today actually is I want to update my website because as you can see here, this is how my current website looks. It has like my profile picture, a bit about how I describe myself, some like a wall of client logos, and then if we go down we have like some videos and some more photos. Here we have like a link to more projects. The thing though is that some of the projects are either outdated or are not relevant anymore, because here, as you can see, those are like more graphic design related or UX and UI design related projects, even though nowadays I focus more on video and maybe like I would rather say like product photos and like social media content, which are some of these projects here above, but there are still a few that I need to just like update and create. Also, overall my website I feel like needs a bit of polishing, as well as it needs to be responsive, because currently I think it looks cool on desktop, but if we kind of adjust it for mobile, because lately I've done some changes, it doesn't work as well anymore as it used to. So that's something that's on my list. The problem is though that I know that I can very nitpicky and can dive in way too deep into projects like this, like passion projects. And even though I think it's really useful to have a website that showcases your portfolio, your style, and describes what you are about, you shouldn't, or in this case I shouldn't, overproduce it, because first of all I have limited time, right? Like I could spend like a full week just reworking that, but the problem here is that the return on an investment, the ROI of that, wouldn't be that great compared to actually what I put in, like what work I would put in here. So that's why I try to limit myself to just like one day and quickly kind of find the core of actually what is the problem and like how can I fix it without building it completely from scratch. Because I think I have like a very strong foundation here already, and it just serves to a client or somebody who like visits my profile just to further elaborate like what my previous work was about and what I did. Because I don't think that website is good for as an outreach tool. Like nobody will find your website if they don't know you in the first place for some reason. So it's rather just to elaborate and explain more context. So the idea right now actually is, before just jumping in blindly, to take a look at my current website and kind of seeing how it's structured and like what order different elements are placed in, and then visiting different examples, design-wise but also structure-wise, of other portfolio websites or agency websites that do a good job, and then take inspiration from that, and this way kind of rework my website. Also, what's really handy is I use a plugin for my browser that scans the entire website and takes a screenshot of it. And it's great for UI and UX design. Before that, when I was on Chrome, I used an extension called Go Full Page. But now, since I switched over to the Zen browser, which uses Firefox, I use a plugin called Fireshot, and it's super handy. I use a website called Figma. It's basically used mainly for prototyping UI element like websites or even apps, but primarily I use it a lot of the times just for brainstorming and as a big whiteboard. And even though I'm right now using it to rebuild my website, I won't utilize all the different like prototyping features, but rather just like use it for gathering images and ideas. And here I loaded in my current website. Kind of right now it's like structured in a way that in the beginning has like the About Me section with my image, then a logo wall of brands I worked with before, as well as like some like metrics and stuff. Then visual proof, this is actually like a video that is playing in a loop with like short form content. Then like a short skill description of like actually my abilities and like what or how I would consider myself as. Then some work that I recently did that I highlight here with like links and and another text that links into my complete portfolio, and then a call to action form where brands actually can like reach out to me directly. Then a second call to action, which is my online shop, which is currently running on Gumroad. Then a third call to action section where I introduce my podcast, and then the footer at the very end. But I already noticed some things that I think could be improved upon, which is my idea was to make this a bit smaller because it takes up a lot of space. I'm currently using Squarespace to host my website. In my ideal world, I would probably use something like Webflow, but I don't have the time or patience right now to learn it. So that's why I stick with Squarespace. I used it for multiple years, and I think it works fine for just showcasing your portfolio. And here also with the visual proof, that definitely has to be updated. It's a bit outdated, as well as it currently just shows short form, even though I did a lot of long form or like horizontal content as well. As well as here, I feel like I have like way too many call to actions. So maybe I can condense the shop and the podcast into just one section. And also here for the portfolio side, these are currently kind of case studies which go in depth about each and every project. But as I mentioned at the beginning, most of them, especially like these ones here, are outdated. Like this project here, I did I think like 3 or 4 years ago. Some are missing and they are kind of all over the place because they range from graphic design to brand strategy to video and photo work. And I believe that it's better to just have like a few of the best ones instead of having like a lot of different things, because then people don't really know what to click on. And if they click on like an older project, they might see work that isn't up to your standard that you could potentially deliver right now. As well, it can be very confusing if you present yourself as the kind of like jack of all trades, showcasing that you can do everything, because I don't know, I feel like it feels a bit unprofessional. I think it's cool that you show interests, that you explored a lot of different fields, and a lot of the times these different fields are connected in a way. I mean, if you know graphic design, it helps you with video editing, but especially right now, because I want to focus on videography and editing more, I think it makes the most sense to kind of strip it down and trim it in a way where I just focus on like the recent most important project I've worked on that best showcases my different skills. I just added inspiration onto my Figma board. Let me quickly walk you through my thoughts. So firstly, on the left side, I created like some tags for changes and some notes, for example, to like update the photo or to make certain portions of sections bigger or smaller, or move them or get rid of them completely. And then here I pulled up some screenshots that I did from different websites and some inspirations from Pinterest. And there are some interesting things that I want my website to incorporate. So for example, adding maybe like some grainy images that are black and white, playing around maybe with the serif font combined with the sans serif font, or like some icons or tags. I believe that high contrast could look really cool. What I also saw was like PNGs added on top of text to give the overall image a bit more depth, which I really liked. And then besides that, I think the only important thing is to stay in a very cohesive color scheme. So still black and white, or off black and off-white, and maybe gray, play around with the beige color. And then for accents and photos, really high contrast, high quality photos that fall more into this kind of orange, reddish and blue color scheme, as well as I really enjoyed watching and taking a look at these kind of one-way color photos that are mainly blue or mainly red. I think that looks really, really cool. And I think besides adjusting the wording, I'm pretty much good to go. I then just have to update my portfolio side by removing stuff and adding stuff, and then I should be good. So let's see how it goes. I just wanted to give you a quick update on this, because actually what's crazy is I have like this CSS code right here that's a ton, but without ChatGPT helping me with like to code some stuff, it wouldn't be possible. I mean, I have like a rough understanding of CSS, I had it in school, but like sometimes like these nuances in code, or why things are working or not working, or specific parameters, especially when using a different platform. Like for example, I use Squarespace, so like sometimes the targets or like the blocks are named differently. It really helps to adjust some details on the website to give it a bit more texture, like adding a shadow or like adding some sort of an animation to that. So if you build your own website and you have the ability to use CSS and try ChatGPT or any like AI program, it really helps, because then you don't have to like learn everything by yourself. Although I think it's good if you understand the fundamentals of actually coding. I also now made it work to actually have a cursor that's following me, like a little image that follows my cursor in a smooth animation, which is really cool and I wanted to do for a long time, but wasn't able to do. But look at this, I have this little star thingy following my cursor around. I have the pleasure to check that everything is getting responsive now. I made the mistake to design the desktop version first and now make it more responsive to mobile, which I know is dumb because normally mobile first, you start with mobile, especially because most of the traffic is going over mobile. But the problem is that designing on the desktop makes it way more fun since we have way more space to use. But now it's just back and forth having my smartphone here, my iPad, my laptop and my big screen to check that everything is responsive. It means doing some changes, then reloading the site and then checking if it works on these different versions, because they have different dimensions and it should be responsive at the end. That creates the best user experience. So learn from my mistakes. Design mobile first when you redo your website. But trust me, now it's just a back and forth of resizing everything and double checking every size, going back to the CSS code and adjusting stuff. It's just a long process to do. So I just spent the last 3 hours double checking every link, every different resolution, different sizes to figure out if everything's working. It seems like it's good right now. I didn't fit all my ideas into the new website, but I think I came up with something better than I had before. And this is what it now looks like. And if you're also using Squarespace and you want me to make a video about showing you how I made and implemented some of these custom animations or cursors, let me know. If you made it this far and you're not subscribed yet, you know what to do. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Peace.